All right, this is going to be kind of a long video just to get you started. This is about HypnoThoughts.com, not HypnoThoughts Live, although it's a little bit about HypnoThoughts Live. This is a video that I've been thinking about for a while. This is a video about the significant problems that HypnoThoughts.com has right now. The short-term solutions, the long-term solutions are continued plan and vision for the site as a resource and its purpose and mission. So there's a lot to get into, both philosophical, social, and technological. So kind of bear with me on this because we're gonna go on a long walk together. But I think it's important for all of you to hear. Like I said, I've been thinking about this for a long time. So I think some of you know that HypnoThoughts.com is not doing as well as it used to. It used to be arguably the most important website in all of hypnosis. You know, we were getting like 5,000 unique visitors a day, and things like that pretty frequently. Usually, like 5,000 different people were coming on every single day, and that's not the case anymore, right? Let's be honest about that, and that's okay. And I want to tell you why that's happening, what's going on, and all that. And the site isn't as good as it used to be. So let's start with this idea. 2 years into HypnoThoughts.com, I was at HMI doing an interview series with them. We were talking about, what I had built and why it was cool and all that. And when we built it, it was supposed to be the MySpace of hypnosis. That's what it was called. It was MySpace for hypnosis. That's how old this was. And I said to people, it's recorded. I said, look, Google killed Yahoo. We know that happened. Facebook killed MySpace. And HypnoThoughts.com killed the Yahoo groups. And something is going to replace HypnoThoughts.com someday, and that's good. That's an okay thing, and I hope I'm paying attention to be part of whatever the next stage of our evolution is going to be. I was a big supporter and fan and user and beneficiary of the Yahoo groups, and I hope I can help be part of that with HypnoThoughts.com and whatever's next. And that is what's happening. And I want to explain to you how and why. So when I built HypnoThoughts.com forever ago, one of the things that really made it so successful was our advertising policy. And I was able to build better technology and have a resource that was better than everybody else out there. This is true. And I built it on a platform called Ning. And I built it and I created a structure in which industry leaders could thrive. And because industry leaders were thriving, they were showing up and sharing their thoughts. And that's what was the driving force behind HypnoThoughts really growing, was the smartest people were showing up and contributing. And new people were showing up and getting the same opportunities as the smartest, most well-known people. And that seemed intrinsically fair. And that meant better support and better nurturing and better growth for our profession. And that's been wonderfully rewarding to me. Also, I'll say this, I have still never taken $1 from HypnoThoughts.com. I have put tens of thousands of dollars into the management, the upgrades, the tech hosting, all the work that goes into the site. Some things that didn't work out well, the online hypnosis directories and things like that. But I put tens of thousands of dollars and I've never recouped that money. And I just want you to know where my intentions are on this. And a couple things have happened. Number one, the platform that HypnoThoughts was built on, Ning, we were called hypnosis.ning.com for a while before we even got the name HypnoThoughts.com. Ning as a platform was sold to another company. It started off as Anderson Horowitz $100 million venture capital run that got sold and sold and sold. I ended up being on the board. I ended up flying to the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, and meeting with multiple CEOs of Ning over the years. And we were, part of a board of influential network creators, and there were multiple tiers. The top tier were Tony Hawk, 50 Cent, and Ellen DeGeneres. And then there was this next tier that I was sort of in the middle of, and then there was the stuff below us. And as the platform kept changing throughout sales, and as they wanted to make R&D changes, they would. I was one of the voices, literally in the room. And then in a change that happened a couple years ago, a sale happened, and functionally what happened was Facebook groups killed the business model that Ning was built on. And so Ning sold, and the business model changed so much that they gave me basically 90 days to come up with, it was something like 20x the number I'd been paying for the platform. All of a sudden they just went, well, we can't do what we were planning on doing, so you've got to pay for it, and everything's going to be like seriously like 20 times more expensive, and the math just didn't work. So what happened was the 50 Cent, Ellen DeGeneres, Tony Hawk people either built their own platforms or could afford it, and so they were fine. The people below us, they were in a tier that either they just quit because they were, they didn't have any traction, or they were in a tier so that they could kind of make it happen. And then the band that we were in, that middle group, we were the ones who really got hit the most. We were in the middle class. And most of those sites just shut the doors within 90 days, and it was really fast. And I ported us to a different platform at great expense, and hustle and like janky, trying to jam things together kind of stuff onto a whole new platform. That platform is less stable. That platform has fewer features. That platform has less third-party development. It is, by all standards, an inferior platform. And the plan had always and continues to be that the platform HypnoThoughts.com currently is on is temporary. We did a lot of tech stuff to try to make it more useful on a phone and make it responsive design, push notifications to your phone, direct messaging through your phone. We spent a bunch of money trying to make all that happen and put in a lot of time and effort. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. Just functionally, a lot of you guys have had repeated login issues and stuff just kind of not working as well as it used to, and that's all very valid. And I have said, and it's been true, that I've been continuing to do R&D behind the scenes and put in time and money and effort into figuring out a better solution. And as I've been doing that, we've made a number of strategic changes to the advertising policy. And I should stop now and just kind of say the vision for HypnoThoughts.com and really my role in this is to influence the profession of hypnosis. And I said this really clearly at HypnoThoughts Live last year during my keynote, but some of you haven't seen that. I'll link to it maybe. But the idea is, being able to have leverage financially with the thought leaders in the industry when I was a nobody, by giving them advertising platforms and spaces and access to a mailing list that they wouldn't otherwise get. I was one of the only games in town doing that. Facebook's doing that now. And so I had an advertising policy put in place early on that I came up with that was a difference maker. And it meant that everyone was playing by the same rules. And now thought leaders don't want to play by my rules. They want to play by their own so they can create a Facebook group and do things their way and not have to play fair. And so they can use all of Facebook's technology to target their advertising and play by their rules rather than HypnoThoughts.com's. And so that's why those people are less inclined to post on HypnoThoughts as they are on Facebook now. And people go where people are, and that's sort of what happens. And so I've been thinking about, okay, I need to restructure this, and that's one of the reasons why we went private. We went private to shift away from advertising to deep anonymous questions so that you could ask client questions without worrying about clients finding it or other people finding it later. And in some respects, that has totally paid off. A downside is now we have anonymous trolls on the site. And I've been also thinking about what we can do about that, but also thinking about really the big picture. And I want to share with you kind of what we're thinking now, and as it relates to the goals and visions of HypnoThoughts.com and how those still exist. And so I want to be an influencer in the industry for good, and I want to help continue to build up leaders in this profession as I have benefited from. I want to help create better instructors and help it become easier for you to find better instructors. And we've worked pretty hard on that. And so with, obviously, we created an online hypnosis conference, Hypno Summit, remember that? We did 3 online streaming hypnosis conferences. We had like 100 presenters at each one or more. It was pretty darn cool. And as I did that, and as I've been going to all these conferences, I've been on the board of the IMDHA for over a decade now, going to all the conferences, speaking at all these different things, and really paying attention to what I think the industry needs and what we could do. I saw this opportunity. And ironically, just because it's the week that this is, almost exactly 9 years ago, I was at the Mid-America Hypnosis Conference, and I watched Scott Giles give a keynote, and he was talking about technology, and he said, with the internet, it's going to consolidate power in the industry. There's going to be fewer, bigger players, and a lot of the smaller stuff's going to die off. And I went to lunch with William Mitchell right after that, and he said, wow, that's amazing. Is that going to happen? And I said, he couldn't have been more wrong. The exact opposite of what he's saying is the truth. William said, really? I said, there will be more conferences. There will be more organizations. There will be more schools. All of those things, with a lot of them worse standards, some of them better standards, but with a lot of them having much worse standards, because it's going to be easier to get access to humans, and that's all it takes. And the power structure of hypnotherapy has been centered around mailing lists and awards for so long that things are changing. And the reason I say it's ironic is because William Mitchell just, I think, had his fourth hypnosis conference that he runs. Is it his fourth? The Heartland Hypnosis Conference. You know, it's a regional conference. It grows a little bit every year. He's doing a cool job with it. But it's just kind of funny that, like, we were talking about that, and that's this week. Neat. And that really gets to what I'm getting to, is one of the strategies that I'm looking at in terms of leverage that I can do is HypnoThoughts Live. And I saw this, just to be totally candid, the existing conferences were missing, in the same way that the Yahoo groups were missing. I just saw that the Yahoo groups were lacking in a couple of opportunities, and so it was easy to build a better widget. And that's what we did with HypnoThoughts.com. I a number of years ago looked at what the conferences were doing and how stale they were, and wanted to bring in a bunch of new stuff, new technology, new life, and new opportunities that were inspired by HypnoThoughts.com. We created HypnoThoughts Live. Now we're the largest hypnosis conference in the world, and that means that the same values and goals that we had for HypnoThoughts.com have really been infused in the conference. And what I mean is the ability to have leverage to bring together the big names. So we have the ability to cross-pollinate thoughts between Mike Mandel, David Snyder, Melissa Tiers, and Anthony Jacquin, and Freddie Jacquin this year. And just bring them into one room. That's a tricky thing to get to do, and we can do that. But also, equally importantly, we have a place for new people to go from okay to good to great. And there's some awesome examples of like the Carl Smiths and the Kaz Rileys and the Ken Guzos and the Joni Knighties and the I could go on. There's a bunch. I'm blanking on the name. It doesn't matter. I'm looking at it. I can see his face. But being able to do that and to get these people who are either never presented before or relatively unknown and help propel them because they deserve it, right? And help foster them and nurture that and have feedback loops with them and have offline conversations with them and be part of helping make that happen and help plugging them into the resources that they're going to get. It means that I can Juan Acosta is a great example of this, right? He's speaking at dental conferences. I taught him a bunch of dental hypnosis and pain control, and then he's really run with it and done a great job. And, he speaks now at other conferences and dental events. And that's about seeing talent and being able to help nurture and foster it the way we were doing just through a forum before. We can do through a multitude of online and in-person platforms now that are still moving the needle, which is really what this is about, and keeping our eye on the ball on that. It's not about a website, it's about professional movement and improving the hypnosis profession. So doing that. And it's cool to see that happening. And then there's things like Jason Linett and I partnering with Titan Lunaro to build Scriptnosis.com. And that's about giving you guys actual tangible tools that can help you just the running of a day-to-day practice. That's something we couldn't do before. Just technologically, we didn't have the resources to do those things, and we do now. Another project that you guys will be hearing about very soon that has Shawn Michael Andrews and Rick Paddock and Paul Ramsey and Dee Dee Verg and a bunch of other people are all and a bunch more are coming together on. That's going to be a really cool thing for everybody involved. It's me doing interviews. I'm spending a couple hours every week interviewing hypnosis instructors and putting those out online for free, and to do so in a way that isn't about talking points, but it's much more about conversations. This week's video is with a guy named Mark Cunningham, who many of you know is a very controversial hypnotist, but when you watch an interview with him, you see how thoughtful he is about his approach, and that's compelling, I believe. So we're doing things like this. In addition to building the largest conference, in addition to finding people and helping them build very successful schools, which means they're training people in a lot of different varieties of hypnosis and helping make that happen. You're going to have the spin-off of other conferences right now. I mentioned Williams. Non-Guard just had the HPTI winter event. HPTI, obviously, I helped create that. And being able to do that about raising standards. I'm now on the board of HMI, which is cool. And the reason I'm saying this is it's not me bragging. The cool thing about this is I'm happy to say I'm the first non-HMI graduate to be on the board for HMI. That's hypnosis.edu. They're the hypnosis school that has government accreditation. And that's neat. And that's a credit to George Kappas for inviting me, of course. But it's about having that, and being on the board of IMDHA means we can start connecting dots and cross-pollinating and helping people be open to new stuff, which really is the core impetus behind everything I have been and am continuing to do, which brings us back to HypnoThoughts.com. That is continuing to happen. And a lot of the thought leaders are going off to their own Facebook groups because where I have spent tens of thousands of dollars, Facebook has literally spent billions with a B, and I can't compete with that. Of course not. It would be silly to even try. And the anonymous trolls. I want to talk about that for a minute. It is frustrating to me to see people who I know have my cell phone number post things that are intentionally provocative that they would be able to disprove just by calling me. But their goal is not to call me and get it right. Their goal is not to transmit true information. Their goal is to get eyeballs. And that's a problem with the internet right now, and I think we've all seen it in politics and social media, that people care more about being popular than being accurate, and it's frustrating to see on HypnoThoughts. But that is an internet problem. But there is just some stuff on there that needs to get cleaned up, and I think removing anonymity from it is going to be a critical part of that, because I know there are a bunch of anonymous fake accounts that are being run by people I know, and it would be very easy with my admin tools to demonstrate that, and I'm just not, because I don't want to be needlessly embarrassing to people. That said, we need to solve that. I wanted things to be anonymous for reasons, and that has been abused and kind of ruined. So we need to fix that, and to do so in a way that continues the vision and path of HypnoThoughts, which is helping everyone get better at this, helping us help more people, helping the profession, and very much looking at this as a big picture and where we can have leverage to influence thought leaders. So here's what's going to happen in the short term. Some of you already saw my email that went out the other day about this. I am going to close new posts and comments on HypnoThoughts.com sometime in the next month. I'm not deleting the site or anything like that. No, it is still the largest hypnosis site on earth. It has more hypnosis information and more pages about hypnosis than any other website ever. And there's no way I'm going to get rid of that, of course not. But as I've been looking at what we can do and where we can go and how we can transmit all that data so the millions of hyperlinks all keep working later, it's a big endeavor, and I've been working on it, and it's hard. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to lock the site for new comments in the next month, and I'll give you more updates so it's not a surprise. But it will still be readable, it'll still be searchable, it'll still be indexable. But new stuff will go on Facebook. And the reason I'm going to put it on Facebook is, number one, because it's free. Number two, you all know how to use it and where it is. And number three, it's really going to cut down on the anonymous trolling. And I think all that's kind of important right now for our profession. And our online conversations is attaching names to and truths and identities to comments. So I want to do that. So and the goal of that is to have that not be the permanent thing. And I've been delaying this for well over a year because I wanted to not do a temporary move but go to a permanent move. And it's proving to be more difficult than I have time to resolve, while still doing the other things and not getting distracted by the website, when I want to make sure I'm staying true to the focus of the actual vision, which is the improvement of the profession. So I'm going to shut down new comments only on HypnoThoughts.com. Just lock it. Everything will still be there. Everything will still work. Everything will still be searchable. Everything will still be private. So I'm not going to deprivatize it so anyone can just search Google and find it. You'll still have to log in with your membership ID to find all that information. So if you posted stuff with questions about clients that's still hidden, don't worry. We're going to create, like I said, a Facebook group. You'll all get an invitation to it. If you're on HypnoThoughts.com's mailing list, that will be the one where you get it from. And if you use a different email address for your Facebook account than you do for HypnoThoughts.com, you'll be able to find us really easily. I'm sure other people will mention it on Facebook once it gets a little bit of traction and all that, and we'll get a couple thousand members real fast, I'm sure. So that's that. There's probably some other things that I'm forgetting. I should also just say the moderation of the site has gotten significantly harder with the new platform and the tech and all that. And so to the moderators who have been enduring that, I want to say thank you. And it is not lost on me at all the amount of work that goes into doing that, and how frustrating it is to not have the tools that you used to have and have the system not work as well as it used to. And believe me, it's been frustrating over here too. So I see that HypnoThoughts.com as a website is going to need to change quite a bit. HypnoThoughts.com as a vision does not change at all. In fact, it's what I talked about 10 years ago on video at HMI. And the concept that I really think about is you got to start paddling before the wave gets to you, right? If you want to catch a wave, you got to see it and paddle fast. And we've been looking at this wave coming for a while, and we've been paddling. So this wave is not passing us. It is why we built the first independent hypnosis conference, with the exception of Mid-America, which is mostly run by Carm, but Karen Hand's awesome, and the board's awesome. David's in there, he's awesome. There's a bunch of people in there who are great. But at the scale that we're talking about, and to build the world's largest one, the idea of HypnoThoughts, the idea of thinking about hypnosis and being thoughtful in our approach to hypnosis, that is completely unchanged. And our mission, our agenda, our goals are all still completely where they have been for a decade. Our implementation strategies and our front end of it that you guys all interact with is going to continue to evolve like it has been. And a lot of you guys didn't even realize that HPTI and HypnoThoughts Live and Scriptnosis.com and the schools we've helped launch and the instructors we've helped train and the new people that we've brought in and fostered and all these different things have always been completely in line with this core mission and our values. So I just want to emphasize that. And any conspiracy theories about it's being overrun and it's being changed, and no, it's not. Just actually take a step back and look at what's been going on. And look at what's been happening for the last 15 years. And what you see is a consistent thing. You see this face doing long-winded videos and long-winded posts telling you as transparently as possible, like I did at the keynote of HypnoThoughts Live last year, I'm trying to change the profession. I'm not going to be right every time. I'm definitely not going to be right every time. It's not going to work every time. The Hypno Store is a perfect example of it not working the way I wanted. But we're going to change course when we need to. I'm going to tell you when and how and why as appropriate. I'm not going to give you the behind the scenes on every brainstorm because that would be exhausting. But yeah, I'm just thankful, right? Like, I'm appreciative that you guys trust me and that you guys have watched this 24-minute video of me telling you what I want to do, and that you guys care enough to stick through this. So that matters, and I am a steward of that responsibility. I take it very seriously that I am in a position to affect change within our profession in important ways, and so the decisions I make slowly and I make thoughtfully, and I deliberate quite a bit and talk to a number of people. Obviously, Richard Clark being a key voice in this for the entire time, but many other people as well. Just mentors and friends and colleagues and all that. And I'm not going to say their names because then you're going to start blaming them for shit. And that's my job to absorb, and that's cool. I'll get the roses thrown at me and the rocks, and that will be how it goes. Did that TV turn off? No, it's just a dark picture of a bear. Thanks, guys, for watching this. If you're still watching this, by the way, that's incredible. It's a weird thing, and you just got to be ready to stay on the roller coaster. You got to be ready to just rock and roll with me on this, because I got this. And I'm not sure what platform HypnoThoughts.com is going to end up on, or how I'm going to utilize that platform. But in the meantime, we are going to continue to have good conversations on Facebook, to continue supporting each other. We are going to continue to do all the things that we've always been doing, which is help build leaders within the profession and help all of you, help the clients you want to help, or just learn the stuff you want to learn, even if you don't want to be a pro. If you just like this, that's wonderful, and we're going to help you with that too. So that's what I got. By the way, also, I'm not like super sick. The lights are too bright, and so I look white. All right, goodbye.